have a lovely boneless leg of pork here. Always use Australian pork, it's the best pork around. We've got some fennel, sage, we're going to do a lovely roast for you with some great crackling on it. So what we're going to do, start with, grind down some fennel seeds. Okay, so we're going to get all our spices, our salts, onto our pork leg. Now, our pork leg's been sitting on the bench for about 20 minutes just to temper, and that just means we're raising the temperature of the pork so it's not as cold as fridge cold. So we'll start with a bit of oil. This will just help all our salt and our spices stick on there. Our fennel seeds. Good bit of salt. And just really rub it into those score lines so we can try and penetrate that flavour right through that skin. But fennel and pork is a fabulous combination. It's one of the best combinations in my opinion going around. And pork is one of those most versatile cuts of meat that really can go with a lot of different flavours. A little bit more salt here, and then a little bit of sage. Just tear that over. And just really try and push it into the little score lines. If you really want to get it in there, just cut those lines a little bit deeper, just to try and help penetrate. Don't cut the skin though. And then you can push these bits in there. You'll end up with a fabulous flavour right throughout. A little bit more salt, I think. And then we're going to get that in the oven, 220 degrees. While our pork's in the oven, I'm going to show you how to make a pomme de terre boulangère, which pomme de terre is just potato, really. All right, so we've got some sliced potatoes, got some sliced onions, a little bit of butter, some stock, thyme and salt. Pretty simple. Now, pomme de terre boulangère, I've just reliably been informed by one of the cameramen here, is an old peasant dish, and they used to, when they didn't have ovens, used to run it down to the local bakery and bake it in the local bakery's oven. I'm just going to start with a layer of salt there. I think that's a fabulous little story, by the way. A little bit of salt, some onions in between the layers, a little bit of thyme if you like, and then repeat. So the idea here is just to create a little decorative effect across the top. It's not that big a deal. It's just, you know, a little bit of a fancy finish, really. So create a nice little effect on top. A bit more salt. And very important for me is a few bits of butter over the top. And then the stock. Now the stock should just come about 1/2 centimetre from the top of the potatoes, just in order to make sure they cook right through. Now we're going to put this in the oven, so a lot of that liquid's got to evaporate. And it'll also help to steam the potatoes and make them really nice and soft. And because we're not going all the way to the top will end up nice and crispy. Okay, so we're going to get this in the oven with our pork. Now about 1/2 hour before our pork's ready, we're going to chuck some apples into that tray as well, just to add a little bit more depth of flavour to the dishes. Apple and pork, fabulous combination. Goes amazing with fennel. And we're going to finish it off with this boulangère potato. It's going to be quite a feast. Okay, our pork has been in the oven for about 1.5 hours, a little bit longer. And I've just checked the internal temperature. It's at 62 degrees, so I know it's perfectly cooked. Got our boulangère potatoes. They're looking pretty fancy. We're just going to get our pork up, again with those lovely chef hands. And our apples, which have been in the oven for about 30 minutes, till they're just soft. Just going to get them around. Make sure everybody gets an apple. This can also be done on the barbecue in a Weber, not on the direct heat, but on the shelf above the Weber there. It would be a fantastic way to cook it. You get a nice smoky flavour through there as well. But if you do it in the oven, whatever you do, don't get rid of these pan juices. They are going to be delightful with a piece of bread. Fennel and sage roasted pork, boulangère potatoes, and we're we'll give it a little bit of vegetables just so we've got a slightly healthier option as well.